Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. So glad to be here with you again. I have an amazing guest today, and it's Ona Christie Martin. So let me tell you about her real briefly. Ona Christie Martin is a clairvoyant artist, writer, and shamanic guide who uses a unique soul visioning process to help people find their spiritual superpowers and divine genius zone. As a mentor, Ona has been described as spiritual jumper cables, and also as a combination of magic, mirror, and inner wilderness guide. She uses art, nature, and energy work to help her clients clarify their own inner vision and develop a strong inner GPS so they get on the fast track to living their purpose. Many of her clients say the work results in a deep sense of inner peace, connection with their guides, confidence and abundance in their life and work. Ona also creates beautiful personalized artworks, ones that I have here in our house, including a portrait of myself, that reminds you every day of the divine essence of your being, which it definitely does for me. So the paintings, which often include your angels and guides, carry a very high frequency vibration that helps you to activate sacred healing energy within you. Ona is especially known for her connection with spirit animals, and you should check out her videos online. She's got an amazing array of things there, and is a creator of the Spirit Animal Awareness Oracle deck. He is currently working on a honeybee themed deck. Has that come out yet, Ona?
Oh, no, it's going to be a while.
Okay,
it's just started, yeah.
I think you're going to have a taker here at this house. So, okay,
yeah.
journey to the Sacred Hive Oracle, and she can be found on YouTube, like I mentioned. She has incredible videos on the spirit animals and more. YouTube.com/Art of Awakening. You can also find her at artofawakening.life. So glad to have you here, Ona.
Thank you so much for having me, Daniel. It's an honor.
Wow. So we're having a nice conversation right now as we're recording this. I'm not sure when it'll air. It'll be pretty soon in the near future, but we have the whole coronavirus, sort of upheaval going on, and we were talking about what a great opportunity is. And it's funny, just within the hour, I'd heard that our state's going on lockdown. I can't say I was jumping for joy on it, but overall, as I kind of get past the emotions at the human level, I'm like, it's like my spirit just really has felt so liberated by what's unfolding.
Yes.
And you shared such delight of energy. You came off a trip recently, and like how you're talking about it, it's energizing you and others that are maybe a little, on average, more introverted, like myself. Mm-hmm. And what a great opportunity it is. And my guess is when this airs, it'll still be going on at least some level. And so we're going to do some work together on bringing your purpose and your energy forward today. But I was wondering if we could just have a quick chat about that, because I know that's on everybody's mind. So what's been coming up for you about your perspective and about what's unfolding with all that?
I'm feeling like I've been feeling for quite some time. If anybody's been following my videos, I did a reading for the year of 2020, and I did see shakeups. I've been seeing shakeups for a while, and so it didn't surprise me. What did interest me was that it was kind of like almost right on time, because what I was seeing was like the first 3 months of 2020 would be sort of like a tag on of the whole cycle that we've been coming through in the past few years, a lot of purification and stuff. And it just felt like, okay, just kind of sweeping the crumbs of that and then moving into a new cycle, which I think for for a lot of us who have been awakened for a while, it feels like we're really going to be coming into our calling. And even some that are just awakening, there's certain souls that have come forward to me that they've just awakened, but they're like, I have a purpose and it's just time. So there's a certain soul group that's just like, we're going to be called to be ushering in or assisting and holding space for this new energy to come forward. And then there's I think the collective, a lot more souls are going to be coming on. And what I'm seeing in terms of this kind of thing, the pandemic or whatever, it's, if we have those of us who have had individual dark nights of the soul, and we know that it's not always fun, but it's a purification process, it's a clearing process, it actually helps us to get where we need to go. And what I'm really feeling is that that's what's happening more on a collective level, and for Mother Earth herself, is it's just bringing in, flushing up stuff for some pretty massive clearing. So I'm feeling actually very, very positive about it. It feels like it's it's not necessarily easy. It's not easy. And especially change of any kind. We are humans. We also got that animal side of us, and animals like routine. Like, the animal side of us gets freaked with routine, when routine is broken. And so it's going to be, it's imperative on us who are operating from a more conscious place to just kind of maintain the calm and consciously come back into the calm and be anchors for light, anchors for calm, within the society, and just helping it along.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the time we've been waiting for, folks. I mean, it's like it really is. It feels that way. It feels like the decks have been cleared, and it's like people are feeling a sense of like, oh, it's my time to really shine. And it's not like an efforting anymore. It's more like, I'm supposed to really show up now. Cool, let's just do it.
Yeah.
There's more of that I'm feeling in the air. And it's really cool for people like ourselves that help others to do so. And there's a sense of deepening and ease within it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we get to experience being I want to say leaders, anchors of ushering in this deepened awakening that's happening for everyone, that we're of course all about here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. So coming from this deeper place. So I love your perspective, and I knew you'd have incredible wisdom to share about that. And so what do you?
I love what you were saying about the pollution clearing and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just a much needed kind of clearing for the earth herself, and for a lot of us. I think if you really consider, I think there's a lot of opportunities that are going to come out of this, but even just the opportunity to sit and breathe for a while and to just step back from the craziness that is what has come to be our normal, quote unquote, life is really, if you think about it, pretty crazy. And in some ways, this is bringing us more back into normalcy of just chill. Because if even bees, the busy bees, they spend a lot of their time at rest, and you wouldn't think it, but much more so than most humans.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we don't, as a human race, especially again Western culture, I'll go back because that's what I know about it. But we don't have times of hibernation, really, not that much. No matter what time it is, like, hey, we got more to do. Come on, time, let's go. And what's the best time to get into action? All the time, that's the call anyway. Mm-hmm. And so we have an opportunity actually to relax into a aspect of our being that we always want to say yes to, but we feel we can, and it's not safe, and we're going to lose everything if we relax too much. And the only way to succeed is to push. And that's all the things that we've been working here. And interesting that I launched this podcast, this year, because, it's all the things that I've been saying for years. It's like there's this deeper place within inside where everything can emerge and unfold. And I always talk about Eckhart Tolle and how he's such a great example of just letting that presence just be enough and guide us and inspire us and move us into action, and to have this deep period of going inward is a huge opportunity. Getting people out of patterns is huge too, because then they can step back from what they normally do in their life, right? And they can see, whoa, is that even serving me? All these things I've been doing, and like make new decisions. People are going to make some new decisions. I know that. So it's an incredible time. It's a great time for, think about 30-day detox or 60-day detox, 90-day detox. I kind of see it as similar to that. That's what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, it is. And it's very, it can be very, very healing. I know like that you do a lot of work with having people come into silence and so forth. And a lot of times the abundance that they're missing will come out of that. I mean, that happened with me personally about a little over 2 years ago. I left a pretty toxic, very long-term relationship. And I was called within the 2 years after that, more and more into stillness. And I was actually forced into it through physical illness. And it was extremely, extremely healing, because the more, it seemed like the stiller I got, and the more I was forced to just stay still and be quiet and actually nap a lot, sleep a lot, and so forth. It was interesting because in my business, I started making more money than I definitely had ever before. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it's funny. It's when people actually allow themselves to trust that relaxation, whether they were forced to or whatever, in a way or not. But, when there's an inner like acceptance of it, then it's like, wow, all of a sudden things are really happening. And I've heard that from others this year or last year, actually. One of my colleagues, I remember really telling me that. He says he was doing a lot of things in the past. And he says, I'm just doing my artwork now and just do what I want. And I have more business than ever now. And so, there's a lot of great demonstrations popping up. Still small numbers, but, we're people are starting to wake up. So it's a good thing. And you're all about awakening, right? Your art of awakening. So tell us more about your work, Christy, and how you're contributing during this incredible time.
Well, I just really, my guides tell me I'm on the beauty path. And so, and for me, it's been a challenge because I've got kind of a warrior personality, right? Because I always like to charge ahead. I've got a lot of, my horse is my spirit, my, main totem. And that's got a lot of this forward motion kind of energy. And for me, I've had to learn to balance and bring it back. And I think that's what I tend to bring to the people I work with, because I do attract a lot of people that are, very heavy on the fire end of the spectrum. And so a lot of it's around balance and also about the visioning. Really, I use your energy scan technique as part of the work that I do. And because I am naturally rather clairvoyant, but that has helped really to how should I say it, give me a structure, a framework to use that along with the artwork. And so we're able to connect with the guides, we're able to connect with their spirit animals and see what's going on with the chakras and to help to balance. So I work with like my own version of like the medicine wheel and finding the balance, figuring out, okay, what's going on here, what's going on there, and just helping a person come to a more centered place, and also through awareness. I mean, awareness is huge in terms of, just being aware of what's going on, because I think every one of us has our own little inner GPS, and it's there, it's broadcasting all the time. It's like we're never without it. It's just, are we aware of it? Are we opening our eyes to it? Are we opening our ears to it? Is it speaking to us, but it's like we don't have the volume up high enough, or we've got some other kind of like heavy metal music or something going on in the car and we're not listening, right? So so awareness is a big part of the work that I do.
Yeah. So tell us more about because you have a number of different ways of helping people through your artwork and through the tuning in and healing work, coaching, all that sort of stuff. You said one thing you did say is a number of your clients anyway seem to have a lot of fire. That's not their issue. Their issue is really getting more still and allowing them to come into that. Tell us more about the people that you tend to help, and
Mhm.
how do you help them?
Oh, that's a good question. Lately, the souls that I've been attracting or that have wanted to come my way, it's two things. One would be those who are just very newly awakened, and all of a sudden, all these insane things are happening to them, and they're coming to me. They realize I really am looking for a guide or a mentor to help me through this, to help me figure out what's going on, what's my energy, what's not, how to connect with my guides. And, what can I trust? What can't I? Because when that happens, when you're suddenly in this awakening place, it's sort of like going to a foreign country where, you don't know the language, you don't know, you don't know what the protocols are, you don't know if that person is here to help you or if they're going to pick your pocket, right? And so what I do is I just kind of hold space. Like I don't, like I really believe that each person is already there in their own way, right? We're all already here. And each person does know. It's just helping them to learn to listen to that little inner voice. So basically, it's like I do a lot of space holding,
Mhm.
and I do energy work. I take people on guided journey, and it's very like an interactive guided meditation process that I do, and some other techniques as well. But then the other group of people, and sometimes these are both, are those who are really feeling the call to purpose, and they know they're here for a reason. They're feeling that very, very strongly. And sometimes they're aware of what that purpose is and just are feeling like I'm blocked in getting there, or but other times they're like, I know I have a purpose, I'm not quite sure what it is. And so I can work with them either way. I'll actually, quite a few people I've worked with, just kind of helping them get started in their business, those who feel like they're called to that. So I've been in business for myself for well over a decade. So, and in
Yeah, I mean,
marketing too. So it's a
right.
background that's helped.
Yeah, you've got the marketing background with,
I have my own agency, so I mean,
yeah,
just very small boutique. I was a writer. I'm moving it up into an agency right now. So I think this year is going to be interesting because I'm kind of growing both businesses side by side. But that's what Spirit's calling me to do. So
right. And that's what I think is really cool about us having these interviews with all of you, and on these shows too, where we're taking a look at like you've had a level of success with what you're doing, and it's like within that success, you've learned like you have to follow your guidance. You can't follow like these cookie cutter templates of how to do things, right? No, just focus on this one business, get that up to speed. Then you go to the next step. Now you do this, you get this business to this level, then maybe you could start another business. You do this, you do this. So it's like kind of like all that, stuff like that. Whereas for some of us, it's more like just what feels like just is right now.
yeah,
And there is no exact rhyme or reason, but it's just that if it feels right, and there's a deeper intelligence that's taking over, that's informing that, and it's
yeah.
pointing to, no, this needs attention. Now, no, over here. Now,
Mhm.
and maybe it's a little bit more hummingbirdish, right?
Yeah.
More like that sort of thing. So,
Oh, definitely. And hummingbird is a beautiful, beautiful spirit animal to call on, right? For that, because it is about joy, and
yes.
as well as um, hummingbirds have a lot of fire, right? If you ever seen them like zooming and dive bombing each other, they've got a lot of get up and go, but they're also just like this beautiful flip from flower to flower, and enjoy that. So yeah, and not necessarily in a straight line, but if you think about a hummingbird, they can go in any direction. They've got this amazing mobility and agility, and that is super, super important coming up into these times of change, because just being able to pivot is something that I think, especially in business or anything in life, we're going to need to be able to adapt to change on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
but yeah, I agree. It's so easy to put ourselves into boxes, and that's actually been a big part of my journey, is learning to really accept all of the aspects of myself and find ways to integrate all of them, and not necessarily feel like I have to be on this path or the other, right? Right now it's sort of this parallel. It's almost like this masculine side of myself and feminine side of myself that are building, and they're finally learning to live in harmony and support each other. So it's interesting. It's a journey. So.
Yeah. Yeah. When we can let it be okay, then it all works.
Mm-hmm.
If we split it up in our brains
Yeah.
too much, then we're lost, we're confused, our energy isn't aligned, our mindset isn't aligned, however you want to look at it, but we don't have it then. But when we really, really are deeply connected with what's happening within all that, that's where people like yourself can thrive. I think about someone like Sark, she I don't even remember all the things she does, but she does multiple things. She works multiple projects all at one time, and she can be that hummingbird, and she's successful with it because she totally embraces it. She doesn't question it to the nth degree or anything. She's just going with it. So you can be like that. Yeah.
There's the other aspect of it where of course I was starting on this whole awakening path, and it's like it can be so all consuming, in that you just want to spend all your time in the other world or to help others get there. And there's almost like this little judgment thing about, if I'm not doing that, I'm not really, doing what I'm supposed to be doing here on the planet. And it's taught me humility, and it's taught me patience, because I found that whenever I started really getting intense on building that business, it was like, but when I just relaxed and let it sort of grow the way it wanted to, then it would just start to naturally grow. At the same time with my other business, I was fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. And now I'm beginning to be able to, over the past couple of years, just soften, kind of set boundaries on getting rid of the toxic clients, keeping the ones that really, and value, learning to value that part of it, and also recognizing that I'm actually doing healing work with that, or supporting others who are. I was a copywriter, and I'm moving into doing a consulting work around copywriting for businesses. But just noticing that through that work, I'm able to help a lot of people. And this is something that I've noticed, that especially with a lot of people who are newly awakening, they feel like they should be going out and putting up their shingle as a healer. And I want to say, first of all, that there's huge amounts of room. I think we're going to be needing more and more healers. So I'm not saying that that's not something they should do. But I'm also saying that there's many, many ways that you can bring that healing energy into other careers, and still be doing healing work through that other career. For instance, my accountant, I have a wonderful accountant, and I went to talk to her for the first time, and she was telling me about how she kind of stumbled into it by accident, and it felt like she'd known already how to do it, even as she was learning how to do it. And I'm looking at it and seeing how that she's helping me with my business has been incredibly healing. It's allowed me to relax and allowed me to focus on other things. And she's in her genius zone, allows me to be in my genius zone. So I think the healing, we tend to put that in boxes too. And really it's not, everything can be healing.
Yeah. Oh, sure. No doubt about that. For years, when I had the Academy for Invincible Healers, I was in such a state of conviction around getting healers to do their healing work and to be healers. There were times I was like, I think I tended to default a little bit at times to, you're a healer, now you just need to get on it and be a healer and do your healing work. And I think I had a little bit of that in me back then. But yeah, I mean, it's like, if I see someone who's a very capable accountant, doesn't mean they're supposed to be a full-time accountant. Like, just, you only do accounting. Now, just damn it, just do your accounting.
Right.
So we have to realize that, that was something I had to come to realize. It's like, No, I mean, let's see the weave and what wants to merge here is the bottom line,
Yeah.
and seeing what that looks like. So for people listening, it's like, yeah, don't get locked in your head. You're any one label that another intuitive tells you are, or any of that stuff that are built, or what you think you are. They're just levels and layers of your being, and you find how they want to play together. It's like a playground within yourself. I mean, it's like, okay, this part wants to come out here. Oh, this part wants, yeah. So, and that's what you're brilliant at. That's why we're talking about it. Is, you're with that weave, and you're like in a master class of learning how to trust that you have deepened tremendously in your trust of it and letting it just be, and that's where the growth's been. And so I guess what I'm looking at today, just to kind of segue into doing some work to support you today, is to ask you. I mean, so that's been coming along, and I've just seen it mature and grow over the years. And I'm just wondering, where do you feel that there's still a sense of something kind of, maybe a little tense or contracted or holding back or that sort of stuff? How's it showing up for you? Because we all have, that's where the opportunity for growth is. So it's like,
That's right. That's
where
right.
it's showing up for you. Yeah.
Well, lately it's been like just this past couple days or week or so, throat chakra stuff, and I think a lot of that is about like stepping, speaking your value, speaking your message out, and valuing yourself enough to do that, and stepping out as a leader too. I think that so I've been like, oh, okay, there's another layer there, right? Because I've worked on the throat chakra a lot, but it feels like it's coming around again to that, because I'm about to step into, like, I'm actually growing both businesses at once. I just got my new website up, artofawakening.life, and I just got this thing that, well, okay, the next step with the writing is to actually just move into consulting. So that's a big step. That's a big step, because that's really working with corporations and charging a lot more money for what I do, for my time, and claiming my expertise, right? So both of those are pretty big steps, and I think there's always, when we're about, it's almost like the butterflies right before the curtain opens, or when you're standing on the diving board and you're like, ooh, right, looking over, and so it's that kind of feeling.
So, okay, great. So on the consulting thing, that's where I feel the sense of like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. But then I get that like total wobble of like, wait a minute, So yeah, let's start.
You're looking at like, $15,000-$20,000 packages, and I'm like, oh my God. Right?
Really, I'm going to charge that freaking much, right?
Like, no.
Mine, right? And then one day you're like, yeah, well, totally, no problem. And then the next day you're like, what? Wait a minute, like.
Yep. Right.
So yeah, so let's. I think that would be a really good place to tune in and support you today. To deal with that aspect, unless there's something else. Maybe we can deal with multiple things, but like, are there any other like aspects that are particularly prominent showing up for you? You said from the throat, but I think this will connect that directly there.
Yeah, and I think, well, what I mentioned, I'd had the health stuff, which I think for me was, it happened after I left that marriage, and I think it was just like many years of like holding stuff in, just like sometimes the body sort of breaks down, right? And so I had some of that, and it's still kind of, been getting much better, but there's still some like lung issues, and it's mostly just sort of this raw feeling in my lungs. So that's sort of like, again, the tail end of that whole previous cycle that is still wrapping up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any lung issues while that was going on, or no?
Well, no.
No, it happened afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Just that feeling came in afterwards. Okay. All right. Well, and so can you feel it now at all, or is it not present?
Yeah, the lungs are just a little bit raw, and this has been about a couple of years now. So.
Okay, well, let's focus on that. We're going to hit the consulting up too, in a sense, and work with that. So yeah, for those of you too that you're looking to make a big leap in what you charge or in a role that you're stepping into in your work, you're like, oh my God, I can totally do it. No, I can't do it. So we'll work with that, and then we also, for those of you who've been in, you're in a transition, whether it's around a relationship that's been released or whatever it may be. You're feeling raw. Maybe you're feeling raw in some kind of way, and this will support you. So all the work we're doing today, just as reminders for everyone listening, we always find that people are just feeling like so connected and like these things are like for them as much as it is for the people we're talking to. So if this is resonating, you definitely want to keep tuning in. Okay, so on the rawness thing, let's go ahead and focus there first. So if you just, yeah, do me a favor, I can tell you're getting ready. You know kind of how this works with me. But so what I'd like you to do, Christy, or Ona, I'm used to calling you Christy. So Ona, what I'd like to invite you to do is to feel that feeling then in your lungs. So if you want to, close your eyes, that's fine. Just to deepen into it. And I want you to feel it more now. Just let it get a little stronger and stronger. And take it towards a 10. You have to feel it as much as you can, and then I want you to go ahead and see if it has a name. Ask if it has a name, and then tell me if it has a name.
It says fear.
Fear. Okay. All right, great. So now what I want you to do is just adjust your position in your chair just a little bit. Doesn't have to be anything dramatic, just a little bit. And you're going to go directly into being that fear completely. Okay. I want you to feel that fear as much as it comes through, as much as you can. Bring it on, embrace it. And I'm going to talk only to the fear now. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, fear. Thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for the role that you play in Ona's life. I know you are very, very important to Ona's life. And I was wondering if it's okay if I talk to you for a little while.
It's afraid to do that.
Afraid to do that. Okay. All right. Just you can, and then just keep it at a level further. Just allow it to speak directly. You
Okay.
are that energy. It's speaking directly to me and saying, "I'm afraid of doing that." Okay, that would make sense. I understand you're afraid of that. It's just a conversation, and if you want to stop at any time, we don't have to continue. So, would it be okay if we talk? You can give me feedback if you're getting too scared.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so fear, like I said, you play an important role. I mean, fear can be an important role to play in someone's life, in someone's life force. So I thank you for showing up. Tell us how you're helping Christy or Ona. How are you helping her? Tell me more about that.
Showing her where the boundaries are.
Ah, that's important. Yeah, yeah. My sense is you're helping her with the boundaries because they were so it feels like they were so blurry for Ona in the past. Is that right?
Yeah, she didn't know where she started and somebody else began.
Yeah. I mean, her gift is she's so connected. It all feels everything's in the oneness. It feels so good. It feels so yummy. It feels so joyful. Why not just go in every direction? So tell me, what's the issue with going in every direction? Just like, yeah, whatever. Yes, all of it. Being more like that with no boundaries.
She couldn't contain herself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And when she can't contain herself, tell me more about that. What's the issue there?
She runs into dead ends,
Dead
and
end.
sometimes they're not very fun.
Yeah, yeah. Might be fun in the beginning and that doesn't end well. Okay. Okay. And remind us, how does it not end well? Give me sort of an example.
Um, Sometimes she acts impulsively and then realizes it's not in her best interest and then has to backtrack. Or an example was when she was a young child, she was sitting once at the end of a dock and looking down into the water. And it was so compelling. She was just so into being in the water, just like a fish. And it was like she was one with the water, and she ended up just slipping down into the water. It was not a warm day. It was like she was so one with the water that she became one with it, but she's only human. And so she literally just jumped in the deep end in a way that was not really appropriate. But that is a metaphor.
So tell me more about that. So that it sounds like she could have the idea. So could she have really died? I mean, could she have really harmed herself, and did she harm herself?
At that time, no, she could swim, but it was what happened was everybody had to go home early. Just sort of rained on the parade a little bit for the day, because it was a chilly day and it wasn't like she could just dry off. But everybody had to go home.
Everybody had to go home. So, so wow, it really caused a problem, even though she ended up being okay.
Yeah, well, in that particular one, it was near the end of the trip anyway, but she felt kind of, she maybe felt a little guilty.
Well, one of my feelings about it is she has a deep ability to connect and trust. Is it possible that she really wasn't doing anything in that case anyway? There may not have been anything wrong really happening there, but it kind of freaked some people out, and then it freaked Ona out. Is that possible?
That's quite possible, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Ona has such a connection and trust that is so unusual to other people that it freaks other people out, and then I feel like it freaks her out. That's one aspect of this. I'm not saying it's everything. I'm saying it's one aspect. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's incredible. So, so you're here. You're here to try to help her. So, what are you really trying to help her with then? So, what is your role that you're trying to help her to have boundaries? Why again? Tell me again now from that perspective. Why are boundaries so important? Tell us more about that again.
She jumped into a marriage and bound herself into that. And it was very quick, and she lost herself.
Yeah. Yes. Wow.
And when she left, she felt alone. That was the fear.
Okay, now she feels alone. And her feeling alone has her feeling like what? Tell me more about the feeling.
It was a feeling like there's no protection.
Yeah. There's this feeling I get multiple things coming in, but one of them comes back to that water scene. I get this feeling of like a drowning feeling, like I'm not going to make it. Kind of.
Well, that was one of actually, I think, 3 jumping into water scenes.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking from fear. I'm speaking for myself. But first was when I was maybe 2, and I jumped into a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom wanted to fish me out right away, and my dad was like, "No, let's see what she does." So apparently, I'd kind of dog pedaled and got to the edge on my own. Um, and then the childhood one was the second one, and the third was when I was in college. I was over in Germany as an exchange student, and somebody threw a frisbee into the river. Well, this is a river. It was running between. It was a contained river, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was running pretty fast, and I just kind of, without thinking, jumped in and went after the frisbee.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I'm a decent swimmer, and I got out, but it really carried me a lot faster and harder than I had imagined it would. So it was this, again, just impulsively jumping in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and just suddenly being aware of, oh,
So, like, okay, beautiful. So, if you could just, if you could get back into that energy of fear, if you could feel that still, do you feel it still?
a little bit, yeah.
Okay, if you could just deepen in that again, just be in that space. We're going to go ahead and ask about that. So, from that space, then, this feeling of,
Oh, I know what it is. It's jumping in, and there's this power that's stronger than you.
mhm, mhm. How do you feel about this power that's stronger than you? Fear. Is it speaking directly to fear?
Mm. It feels like it's just going to carry me away.
Okay. And that's not safe, is the first feeling I get about that. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And what's not safe about that? What's the danger?
I could be pulled under and never come back up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
And oh, okay, so that's revelation here, because I think that's the underlying fear of, if I
Mm-hmm.
give in to this,
Mm-hmm.
right, um, it's just going to pull me in, and I won't have control.
Yeah.
and
You won't have
and
control. There's no
and the people
control.
around me are going to suffer because I'm so focused on it, right?
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. All right. So going back into fear, getting back into that energy. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So it almost feels like so your own safety isn't even just a peril; it's other people's safety that's a peril too. You could take a whole because Oni has leadership abilities and capacities that she could inspire a lot of people to jump right in. Let's just all go together,
Hmm.
and that might be dangerous, is what it sounds like to me. So is that possible? Is that a fear? Is
Oh.
fear? Is that something you? Is that part of what could is a fear? Is I get a lot of different energies coming up. A lack of control. That is definitely 100%.
Hmm.
Your lack of control, and without control, we don't know what's happening.
Yep.
People get raped. Like I get an image of rape from past lives. I get an image of all kinds of trauma. So war and all this stuff. If we lose control, then we will be conquered. We will be raped. We will be pillaged. It's just not safe. It's just the way it comes through to me. Does this sound about right, or tell me more about it?
Yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm.
right. It's like you lose control and the fire just takes over. It'll burn everything up.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the fire has to rise, and now look out, is what I hear now.
Hmm.
Look out. Now that's it. Now we're going to really take control. Okay. Yeah. Whole big head of steam there. Okay. Great. Great. Then that dies down at some point, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we feel powerful. We feel like we've controlled it. And now we want to let go again. We want to let go. Now we want to start to try to trust again. And eventually something comes up that evokes you fear, and you're like, wait a minute, here we go again. This is not right. Doesn't work out. And then you try to shut it down or something, right? What do you try to do when the boundaries aren't there? What do you do? How do you show up?
I contract.
Mm-hmm.
pull back
Mm-hmm.
or go seeking another direction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So I feel, so now what I do know about, you is you're very wise. You have incredible wisdom and things to share with Ona. And I would love to deepen into that deep understanding you have of Ona. And really, like, I feel like you have wisdom. You like all this fear and this anxiousness and all this anxiety you've been creating in Ona's life is actually, of course, been to protect her. But I feel like you have wisdom to share with her that would set her free, that would set you free, that would transform you. So I feel you have wisdom to share with her that she needs to hear, that you've been wanting to share with her for the longest time. And what is that? What does she really need to know right now? What is it that you're really trying to tell her? You've been trying to tell her for the longest time. What does she need to know?
When you stay still, it comes to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ah, yeah. 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 Can you tell me just a little? It's that simple, and yet, can you tell me more about that?
Well, in stillness, the fire is contained.
Mm-hmm. But I hear coming into my awareness is just it holds everything. The sense of it holds everything.
Mm.
That's where that's just the word that comes through. It holds everything. The oceans, the fire, the wind, the air, whatever. Oh, just get a sense of it holding everything. Hmm. Hmm. So when you're supporting her and just embodying the stillness, and now that Ona has become so more keenly aware of this, and even that much more today, what new role would you play in her life? I mean, new role can you play in her life that just, now that she understands that, now that she's deepening that, she's saying yes to it, I can feel it. What new role can you play in her life so that you don't have to keep playing fear? You don't like to be fear all the time, do you? You don't want to keep being fear, I imagine, right?
I've been playing the role of the brakes,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but I can play the role of her side view mirror. I can play the role of her um, I can show her where to turn.
Mm-hmm.
I can show her the edges that indicate where the way forward is.
Yes. The word that comes to my mind anyway is awareness. You can become awareness, deepened awareness.
I can become her servant.
Mm-hmm. 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 And how would you like to be her servant? How can she directly utilize you? Any wisdom on that?
Through faith.
Faith. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so now you can be a presence that Ona can feel in a bit of a different way, right? She can feel your energy in a different way, and she can tap into that. Is that possible? Is that true?
Yes, if she keeps me at her heel
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
rather than letting me lead.
Yes. This is what creates, easily without fear, will create her having incredible boundaries, so to speak, because she just knows where the energy wants to go. It's the feeling I get on that. Is that right?
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
It will allow her to channel her energy forward in a positive direction rather than spreading it all around willy-nilly.
Yeah. Yes. What would you like her to focus on more in her life right now? Is there anything specific in her life or business?
Listen to the voice of her heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that she can trust that energy in her heart is how it comes to me. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. It really is safe. Yeah. Mm. Nice. 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 So that her mental controls can relax. She can just trust her heart. Because now she has the anchor of you, the stillness. That's how it comes to me. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She is being it's like the car's being guided
Mm-hmm.
and all she has to do is sit in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Ah. Yeah. How does that feel when she's just, yeah, just, wow, just in that space? Yeah. How does this feel now?
Feels peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So my question is for the aspect that was showing up as fear here, that energy that I still sense is percolating a little bit still. Is there something to run to or from anymore? I mean, is there really anything to run to or from? I mean, does she have to fight for survival? Does she have to hide herself? Does she have to, do any of these things? Is there any real need for this, or is this just an old concept?
There's no need for it.
All right. Okay. Okay. Instead, the new role is you're the like the peace, the stillness. You're the, I want to say anchor or something like that. Mm-hmm. Mm. Let me just test it. So is it possible? Hey, you better jump in there. Hey, don't. Hey, that's a bright, shiny object. Go chase it, go chase it, Fido moment, right? Go get that. Go get that. It's so exciting. Don't even wait a second. How about that? How do you, how is she to respond to those situations? There are things that get exciting, and maybe I better jump right into that. What's your wisdom?
She's sometimes that call comes out of the blue, and sometimes it comes as a reiteration of a thread that's been in her mind for a long time.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. Hmm. And if it comes up, what's your wisdom of how to be with that?
To sit with it
Mm-hmm.
and to see what the universe sends her
Yes. Yes. Yes.
because it's a potential.
Yes.
And when that potential is one that would be beneficial, the universe will open the doors to it.
Mm-hmm. I feel her harnessing much more greater bandwidth of energy, a deeper, deeper connection. Yeah, absolutely. New bandwidths of energy. Yes. Feeling better. Yeah, it's much better. Just to trust that depth. Is it okay for her to shine and be like seem like she's completely different from so many other beings? Just the way she shows up. Is that okay for her to lead in that way? I feel like that's so inspirational. Is it okay for her to do that? Is it safe?
That is safe.
Okay, nice, nice. Now I'm going to ask another question. My last line of questioning that comes to my mind to ask for today is she's guided to get into consulting, she tells me, and she wants to charge, $20,000, $50,000 or maybe more, who knows, for services. Is that safe? First of all, is it safe?
That is safe.
That's safe too. Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Great. All right, awesome. Is there any last wisdom? You're starting to sound like a peaceful presence or something like that, rather than fear now. That's cool. So, do you have any last things to share with Ona for right now?
The word presence.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Nice. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for sharing. And now that you're playing this new role, we're just so grateful that you're willing to play that new role. And thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. And then when you're ready, Ona, you can just open your eyes, come back to being the totality of Ona. And then we're going to do maybe one last quick thing. All right. Okay. All right. So first of all, how are you feeling?
Feeling good.
Good, good, good. Let me just ask you something. See if this evokes any contracted energies in you, okay, when I say it. Okay, I'll just say this phrase, see how it comes out. It might sound mean, it's possible. Okay, but I want to see if it just does something in your energy. You don't know what you're doing. You can't charge no $20,000, $50,000. You're a consultant. Are you kidding me? You're just a whipsy gypsy artist and healer, and nobody was going to take you seriously. You don't know crap about consulting for these companies. There's no way. Does anything show up inside of you? No.
I've been doing it. I just haven't been charging for it.
Okay.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Good, good. So we tested, and that's landing right now. In other words, it's landing in that it's not landing. So it means that there's more of an acceptance and ability. You just say, oh yeah, no issue there at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So I'd like to do a brief prayer for you to just anchor all of that further. Just to do that. So are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you join me, take a nice deep breath. In through your nose, up through your crown chakra, up through your higher self, up to love, light, source energy, up into the all in all. And as you exhale through your mouth, let this energy come back down through your higher self, down through your crown chakra, down through all your chakras, through his body, through your field, down through your root chakra, down through your feet, down to the core of the earth. So I speak these words, and I am right here and right now for Ona. To recognize God, love, light, source, spirit is all there is. I'm grateful that the infinite presence that is source in the center of Ona's heart, and everyone in listening my voice is there. It's there. It's the guiding light, and it goes all the way down to the core of the earth, and it is right there. It's at the heels of your being, and it's there showing you the way. It's revealing the panoramic view of life, and it's in the infinite stillness, and that it's guiding and leading me. The little lights that are guiding me, I'll know which ones to pick and which ones not to pick. And because that infinite presence knows, and it's guiding and leading me in the right direction when I see, oh, $20,000 and helping these companies, that's one that feels right. Let's go with it. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just go with it. I trust the infinite presence within me. And I know I can show up. I can speak my voice from the infinite stillness, from the infinite depth, and know it's safe. It's safe to be all of me and share all of me from its infinite depth and grounding and landing of my energy and presence. And know that I am a servant to source, to my guidance, to what wants to unfold, and I simply know it. It comes naturally to me. So I'm grateful to go deep with those executives or companies or whoever they are, and to offer those opportunities and to do all the things that I'm here to do, knowing that it's all grounded and landed, that I'm safe in my relationships, I'm safe to love again, I'm safe to just say yes to all the business stuff and purpose stuff that wants to unfold through me. I'm just safe, and I'm more than safe. I'm fully alive and at peace with myself and all life, letting go of the brakes, knowing I have the side mirrors and everything, and able to see clearly everything from the deepened awareness and knowing what's true. And I allow myself to be anchored in it and let it guide me and let it all unfold easily, naturally, knowing it comes to me when I simply trust it and let it all be. So let it be so and let it be done. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Thank you, Daniel.
All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm so grateful for you coming on today. Any last words just before we begin to wrap up here?
Oh, I felt that in my heart.
Good. That's a good one. All right, everybody. All right, if any of you want to experience a session like this with me or want to get some support from me, just go to yoursacredpurpose.com, and there's opportunities there to get some time with me and take advantage of what you see there. So, anyway, thank you again, Ona. Everybody check out Ona. Go to Art of Awakening.
I just want to thank you because you were very instrumental in my moving into this line of work. And I have huge amounts of gratitude. Daniel really knows how to help with the awakening and to help people really accept and realize their purpose. So.
Oh, thank you, Ona. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And so everybody, check out Ona. She's an amazing being. She does incredible work in so many ways. Like I say, we have both me and Deb, my wife, have her painting works, and I've gained so much from Ona as well over the years, guidance and wisdom and the paintings and everything. So it's just her presence. So check her out, artofawakening.life, and also go to her YouTube channel, youtube.com/Art of Awakening. So check everything out from her as well. So that's all today, folks. Keep on tuning in, and we'll look forward to being with you next time. So keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Okay, goodbye for now, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.